check out ESPN Film's newly released 30 for 30 podcast. From the producers of our award-winning documentary series, this is an amazing collection of sports stories you need to hear to believe. Speaking of amazing, Delta Airlines and the Fly Delta app make your travel experience amazingly easy with real-time bag tracking, e-boarding, and passport scanning during check-in. And don't forget to download 30 for 30 podcast to fill your flight with stories that will keep you coming back for more.
And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head the dirt. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me your boom.
He is Jalen Rose.
What up, Dell?
I'm David Jacoby.
And doing the cool check.
And we are Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio. What do we do?
We're going to find individuals who have consistently supported this
those
program
people.
For at least 5 years. Exactly
I think
what
it's
they
been
want
6 years now.
when they want it. Rather, podcast, radio, and of course on television.
Draymond Green.
Who are we? Saginaw Pride.
Was being Draymond Greenish
All right.
at the parade.
All right.
He wore a Quickie t-shirt in the Warriors colors that mocked the Quicken Loans logo. Obviously, this was a response to LeBron James with the Ultimate Warrior t-shirt last year. LeBron James, fresh off losing the finals, commented on Instagram. He said, "That's what she said, huh?" My question for you. Who's more competitive, Draymond Green or LeBron James?
It's no fun when a rabbit got the gun. The Warriors won 2 of the last 3 championships. And once LeBron brought his chip to the land, he let us know.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ultimate Warrior t-shirt last year, the Halloween cookies.
Yep.
He did his part to help nurture what we hope becomes an NBA rivalry. The first trilogy that we've had in NBA Finals history with the 2 same teams, the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers. So as this continues to foster, this will obviously take place. I like it a lot. And it's clever. I appreciate how he did it. And as you always stress, you can be mean if
You're funny.
That's really funny.
I think LeBron could have had a better response. You know what I mean? Like, that's what she said joke. Like,
If
come on,
LeBron
LeBron.
wanted to really go there, Draymond Green already put his family jewels online. He should have went more towards that
Oh, yeah.
as opposed to how he went.
Oh, man. Isn't it? I hate it when you think of a really good response too late. You know, because LeBron listens to Jalen Jacoby every single night. He subscribes to the podcast. He told me this. And he's going to be listening to us later tonight while he's on his 17th glass of red wine. And he's going to be like, oh, man, I should have done something about that picture of Draymond. Did you see the picture of Draymond?
I did not.
Yeah, me neither. I just lied. There was a guy
I heard
in
it
the
was cold
crowd.
that day. I did hear it was cold that day.
There's a guy in the crowd in a Steph Curry jersey riding a horse. What do you think about this young man riding a horse in Oakland?
No problem with it at all.
1.5 million people at the parade. Here's my prediction. I think the Warriors will win 2 of the next 3 NBA championships. I bet that number goes down every time. Like, eventually the parade's going to be like, yeah, we had a luncheon and 200 people showed up because we're so tired of celebrating these championships.
Here's what's not going to go down.
What's not going to go down?
The viewership of the NBA Finals. They were up this year. And you're going to hear a lot of people make a contradictory stance about today's game. They're going to talk about not liking the fact that we can predict possibly who's going to be in the NBA Finals, then turn around and say how they appreciate the opportunity to witness a dynasty. You can't have it both ways. The Golden State Warriors are obviously good for the league. It's good when you have an ultimate squad that's going to travel around, sell out everywhere they go. Teams are going to celebrate being in close games, definitely celebrate if they beat them. And you're still going to be able to enjoy multiple players in certain cities that compete at a high level. It's just that it's obvious that the 2 best teams on paper today are the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers.
People have short memories, especially when it comes to sports. Here's one thing I remember. Last season, when the Warriors were off to that start, it was like a rock band touring the nation. Like, it was crazy. People were showing up early to watch Steph Curry warm up. Like, the Warriors had this rock band feel. They won 73 games. They ended up losing to the Cavs, but that sort of excitement you don't get with parity. You know what I mean? Like, oh, guess what? We're going to watch really good competition tonight between the Wizards and the Bucks. Like, yeah, it's cool.
And those same people, depending on how old they are, will be like, I love the 80s. Mm-hmm. Golden age of the league. Mm-hmm. When the Lakers won 5 of the championships and the Celtics won the other 3.
Yeah, that was when the NBA was great.
And then the Sixers got one and the Pistons got one, and that's it?
Yeah, that was when the NBA was great. Mike Brown was at the parade. He rocked a wallet chain. Okay.
What?
Question for you. Are wallet chains cultural?
Let me see that again.
Nope.
Are wallet chains cultural?
Nope.
I don't know what a wallet chain is.
Yeah, cultural. That says it right there.
Oh, I see it.
That says it right there.
Got it. I see it.
It's when you have a chain connected to your wallet that you connect to your belt loop.
I see it.
So you don't lose your wallet, I guess? It's an anti-pickpocketing device. I think people just do it because it looks cool.
I don't think that's cultural. I think if it was literally on his waist, it would be cultural. If it went from his waist to his wallet, I don't know why you're drawing attention to your wallet, especially when you got bread.
Are you concerned about getting pickpocketed at the parade? Like, what's happening? Come on, Mike Brown.
All you got to do, coach, is put it in your front pocket.
I don't like the feeling of a wallet in the front pocket.
If you feel like you're going to lose it or it's going to get stolen.
I don't carry a wallet. You carry a wallet?
I do.
Remember when Chris Bosh left his wallet at the restaurant and you had it for a while?
I did.
Did you look through it?
Never.
You never looked through it?
Nope.
You not even got curious?
Nope.
No?
I'm going to look through his wallet for.
I would probably look through it and then say I didn't, just like you did. Oakland Mayor Libby Schaff shared a float with MC Hammer.
They put me in the mix.
Too Short was involved. E40 was involved. Parade seemed like fun.
You know what I appreciate about the Golden State Warriors?
What's that?
They do a good job of embracing hip-hop.
They do.
I love the fact that the Golden State Warriors embraced Bay Area hip-hop artists. I love seeing E40 and Too Short at the game, MC Hammer, Mr. Fab. They're to not only represent their team, but prime seats.
I'm sure Dell was there somewhere, not in the front. You know what I mean? The Souls of Mischief were up in the seats somewhere. Now, I've never understood this. In today's day and age, why would Zaza Pachulia be recording the parade with an outdated camcorder? Like, your phone is a camera, dude. You don't need to be doing this.
This the same Zaza Pachulia that felt like it was only about 250 people in the whole league.
Oh, that's right. That was such a brilliant sound. He's like, okay, there's 450 people in the league. 15 of them are on this team, so there's 285 left. It was like, what?
The one thing he's going to be, however, is the answer to a trivia question. Who's the 5th guy that started on that team for the Warriors?
Who's got the biggest head in the history of the NBA? He's an NBA champion. You know who I'm so happy for? Matt Barnes. Matt Barnes is an NBA champion. There was a time, not so long ago, 4 months ago, 5 months ago, where he was drinking Hennessy after they canceled a game with Boogie Cousins in the Kings locker room.
In Philly.
And now, he's an NBA champion on a parade float.
And he's looking for you, Derek Fisher.
He's looking for you, Derek Fisher. Derek Fisher's like, oh, he's at the parade today. Good. At least I know where he is. I love Derek Fisher so much. Now, when it comes to breaking NBA news, you know something is real when Woj bomb happens. When there's a Woj bomb, right? He usually is the person that is the most connected, that breaks the news on draft night.
Mark Stein, too.
Oh, yeah, there's tons. Shelbourne, Stein. But Woj bombs are, you know, he drops Woj bombs. On draft night, he's going to tell you who gets picked before it happens, and it kind of ruins it. Here's the thing about this, though. Guess what the Woj bomb was today? Quote about LeBron James. Not only there's no guarantee he's coming back, I'm not sure there's an expectation he's re-signing there. I think within Cleveland and around the league, they feel that he's very much in play to leave again and likely head out west to one of the 2 LA teams. The Lakers could very well be a target. Hold on a second.
To everyone else, it's breaking news. To Jalen and Jacoby listeners, it's broken news.
Whoa, just Thursday. June 15th. We had this on Jalen Jacoby last week.
I said it on First Take 7 days ago.
7 days ago. Come on, Woj.
Here's a bomb.
Subscribe to the podcast,
But
Woj.
you ready for this?
What?
Here's a bomb for Woj, who I love, as you mentioned.
Oh, no shots.
People that actually do real work. Ramona Shelburne, Mark Stein.
Oh, yeah, they have sources. They're making
Adam
phone
Schefter.
calls. They hang out at the games. Rachel Nichols.
I'm not doing all of that. You
No.
know what I'm doing? I'm going straight to the source.
Yeah.
And I have a bomb for all of them.
What's that?
LeBron James will never play for the Clippers.
And we putting it on wax.
Ooh.
So when you see that, that is inaccurate.
Why do you say that with such certainty?
I know things.
I love how you know things. But let me unpack this a little bit, Jalen
Now, let me
Rose.
unpack it one more time for you.
Okay.
I put it out there. Some people got the baton and started doing their own intel and was like, he's right.
There's something to this.
And then people started to put their own tentacles to it.
Yeah.
Let me be clear. He will never play for the Clippers.
But let me go the other way with this, Jalen Rose, because one thing I know about LeBron James is he doesn't want to rebuild. You know, like he's not gonna start over and be a 7th seed in the West. He wants to win championships every time that he starts a season.
So so is the Golden State Warriors going somewhere?
One of the things that I have to say about this is right now, and we're only be one season away from this. We're 1 year away from the conversation. Depending on what the Clippers do, it seems like the Clippers are more prepared to contend for a championship than the Lakers.
I have to show you something.
What's that, Mr. Rose?
He's going to play next year in Cleveland,
Yes.
which means the Clippers situation is going to be a year older when you're talking about him joining the team. Which means the roster is going to look a lot different. Not only did it look this season, but how it will look next season, whether Blake Griffin's going to be there. I know J.J. Redick's not going to be there. Another season after that, what about Jamal Crawford? What about Austin Rivers? Yes, you'll still have your pillars in Chris Paul and DeAndre Jordan, but that's not going to win a championship.
Maybe with LeBron. And LeBron always brings some people with him. Dante Jones will be there. James Jones will be there.
It's more than just about winning championships at some point. It's about a quality of life playing for a storied franchise underneath the stewardship of Earvin Magic Johnson. Here's a couple of drizzles that LeBron has already thrown out there for everybody.
Drizzles?
For those that like to pay attention to clues. What has he talked about wanting to do once he retires?
Oh, he said, I'm going to own a team.
Let me see. What former players could he learn from that?
Michael Jordan,
Or
Irving Magic Johnson.
you think he's going to Charlotte to play basketball?
No.
You know what's funny? If you go back to all of the articles when Michael aired Jeffrey Jordan started to be an owner in Charlotte, how many people was like, oh man, he's going to have the whole league going down there to play for him. He's a champion.
Yeah.
Nobody will be able to
No
tell
one
Michael
can
Jordan
say no to Michael Jordan. He's just going to get on the phone once.
Still looking.
Nick Batum went there?
Now, $125 million, I'll be there too.
Sure.
Here's the deal, though. LeBron James has a mega crib in Ohio. And where else?
Did you just use the term mega crib?
A mega crib.
I guess he's got a mega crib in Brentwood.
Boom.
Nothing has ever happened negatively to a former superstar athlete that's moved to Brentwood.
I like what you did there. And lastly, recently LeBron has talked about how, you know what? My family and friends really didn't want me to come back to Cleveland anyway.
That was interesting.
You know what I mean? I went against everybody's wishes.
Yeah, he was talking about his mom, his
didn't
wife.
want me to come
they were
back
just
here.
like, we don't go
You
back
remember
to
that
Cleveland.
letter? Yeah, you know what? Let me start reading this letter again.
He broke it out. Yeah.
Here's what's going to happen this year.
He turned off The Godfather, looked at that letter again.
LeBron James is going to be showing up at games, and the outside of the book is going to say The Godfather, but on the inside is going to be Dan Gibber's letter. He's going to be reading it all year.
Here's another thing. David Griffin hasn't signed. So if David Griffin goes to another team, I feel like that is also an indication that perhaps LeBron James is only one more year in Cleveland. Because maybe David Griffin's saying, I see where this is going. I see the tea leaves that we're reading. Is that how that goes? I see the tea leaves. I think if David Griffin leaves, it's another indicator that LeBron James will also leave.
No, you're looking at the GM spot way different than you should. David Griffin is going to go to the highest bidder.
That simple? I probably would too. I would consider, if it was this close, I would consider the quality of life of where I was going to live.
Correct. That's the highest bidder.
So, you are saying LeBron James will play for the LA Lakers in 2 years.
LeBron James will not retire as a member of the Cleveland Cavaliers. When he leaves, it's going to be to join the purple and gold. He will never play for the Clippers. That's a bomb.
If I looked at LeBron James' text messages, is there some text messages from Irving Magic Johnson in his phone right now?
Here's how I want to answer that question. No.
Okay.
Because one is an executive for a team, has been around the league since 1979, knowing that he can't put himself in a position to be accused of tampering. What you do is your man holler at my man, they exchange the messages, and we get the relay.
You're the best.
Blue Moon is brewed with Valencia orange peel and a touch of coriander. It's a creative twist on a Belgian-style wheat ale for a taste that shines brighter. Taste responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
You know when you hear that sound, there's going to be discussion of our brother, the Podfather. We call him the Podfather because the Podfather gave his blessing for Jalen and Jacoby to have a podcast, which now turned into a podcast, television show, and the radio show you're listening to right now. We always pay our respects to the Podfather.
Shout out.
He's also got a podcast.
Got a chance to break bread with him a couple of times during the finals.
Good. Good for you
I
guys.
had tough choices after the championship game in Oakland. Go hang out with E40 and Snoop or hang out with the Podfather.
I would have gone with the Podfather 100 times out of 100.
I did.
He's the best. I watched Game 2 with the Podfather at his house. It was great.
I figured if I went out with Snoop and E40, I wouldn't have made my 6 a.m. flight.
You wouldn't. No. And the way Snoop was dressed, I didn't want to hang out with him. I mean, it was Warriors blue, but you know. Kevin Durant was on the Podfather's podcast. They're boys now. He's been on the podcast 3 times in the past, 4 months. And I've always known this being in the sports media game for a long time. There's no better interview than the dude that just won the championship. The dude that just won the championship, all guards are down. He's happy. He'll tell you anything. Kevin Durant had an interesting thing to say about Kyrie Irving. Let's give it a listen. This is the Bill Simmons podcast.
Kyrie is better than AI to me.
I think I agree.
From skill for skill, his handle is better. Kyrie got more skill.
What? Kyrie's better than AI, according to Kevin Durant. Your thoughts?
Where's James Todd Smith? And I'm disappointed in the guy that wrote the book on basketball, co-signing it so fast. He didn't even think about
I think
it.
you're right. Yeah.
Seriously?
This is a man who spent so much time ranking cross-era players against each other. He wrote an entire book being making his list of the best players of all time.
I'm
going to
give
history.
everyone a low-hanging fruit distinction.
Okay.
So we could just squash this right now.
Mm-hmm.
Allen Iverson is an MVP, all NBA caliber player.
Okay.
Kyrie Irving is an all NBA, all star caliber player. Another thing, when AI went up against a dynasty, the Lakers, who won 3 straight championships in the early 2000s, he got him a game.
One game.
Kyrie and LeBron got how many games?
1 game.
Drops the mic.
That was Allen Iverson and Matt Geiger.
And Dikembe Mutombo was 99 years old.
He was. He's too tired to wag the finger. So now I'm being told that our producer edited down the soundbite and that the Podfather didn't co-sign that quickly.
He did.
He co-signed. He got there. Yep. Here's another thing I know. Papa doesn't listen to other people's podcasts, so he'll never hear about this.
And plus, you said they're boys now, so he probably
They are
disagreeing with
boys.
them.
Yeah, exactly. You're being the host of a podcast. You don't want to turn into First Take. You don't got to start arguing with the guy.
Hey,
He's a
don't
champion.
say nothing about First Take ever in life.
I will, all the time. It's the best hosted show that we have on television.
Thank you.
Love First Take.
They have the most talented host that has ever done it in this industry. And
So
big shout
talented.
to my brothers Stephen A. and Max, who take care of Molly. I appreciate that.
Molly takes care of them, let's be honest. Kevin Durant said this about the Warriors willing to sacrifice to keep the team together. Quote, I feel like we can work that out and everybody will have a chance to do this again next year. Because here's what that means to me. He's going to have to take less money. He's basically saying we can work that out and everyone can have a chance to do this next year. One thing I know about this is not everyone's going to have a chance.
This is one of those things that gets a lot more media play and conversation than truly it deserves. When Kevin Durant decided to go to Golden State, when the Warriors decided to add him to the roster, don't everybody realize that they knew that he was going to be a maximum caliber player? Mm-hmm. So everybody understood that there was going to have to be a sacrifice. And when you're winning, people are willing to make sacrifices. And when a mistake happens, it's my fault. Now, when you're on a losing team, you're not willing to make those sacrifices.
No.
And when mistakes happen, you're arguing with each other.
Everybody else's fault but yours. This is an interesting piece of news. The timing is just a little funky.
Funky, because you heard it from hearsay.
No contract has been signed, but it has been confirmed. Jerry West is going to leave the Warriors and join the Clippers.
Where's our music?
What music?
Broken news.
Oh, okay.
To everyone else, it's breaking news. To Jalen and Jacoby listeners, it's broken news.
You could pull up the date, but I remember talking about this like All-Star break.
So why is he leaving the Warriors?
Are the Clippers for real?
He put his work in there. Going to get a new check, new opportunity, new enthusiasm.
Huh. I like to win. You know what I mean? I think championship celebrations look like fun. Parades look like fun. I want to win. Yeah, I'm sure he's very handsomely compensated.
When you get a chance with that amazing computer in front of you, I want you to pull up how many rings Jerry West got.
That sounds like research. You know we don't do research on this show. I'm not going to start changing the things we do on this show, Jalen Rose. I'll have somebody else pull it up for me. How about that?
When somebody gets a chance, let David Jacoby know how many rings the logo Jerry West has as a player, as an executive, as an advisor.
Let's see here. There's a lot. NBA champion in 1972. This is not very well organized. Oh, here we go. 8-time NBA championship. 72, 80, 82, 85, 87, 88, 2000, 2015, 2017. And he was the executive of the year twice.
I think it's okay to chase a new challenge and get some new money and
You know
be
what I'm
treated
not
like
trying
a
to do
savior.
when I get to his age? Chase challenges. I'm trying to chase a retirement home on the beach.
Free checks. And it keeps your motor skills sharp. If it's something you can do almost like brushing your teeth, why not?
I'm surprised he's leaving.
I'm not.
I'm surprised he's leaving.
The Warriors are a well-oiled machine. Now it's time for a new opportunity and a new challenge.
Seems like the Clippers are trying to do some new things. One of the new things the Clippers are doing is they are leaving the Staples Center.
You need somebody like Jerry West in the Los Angeles market to validate what you're doing as it relates to improving your squad, has cachet in this market. You quietly take the responsibilities from Doc Rivers without announcing it.
Mm-hmm.
You start calling Jerry West an advisor, which means before somebody gets picked, you got to talk to Jerry about it.
Yep. See, here's what I see. I've been in the corporate rat race a long time. Here's one thing you never want. You never want the person that you report to put someone in between you and them, which is what I just feel like happened to Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers used to be direct to Ballmer. I make the basketball decisions. Ballmer co-signs them and pays the checks. Now, Doc Rivers makes basketball suggestions, and then Jerry West takes them into account, and ultimately he talks to Ballmer about whether or not they're going to execute those suggestions. That's not a good thing for Doc Rivers.
Well, to take it a step further, it's not West takes it to Ballmer. They take it to Ballmer, as opposed to Doc taking it to Ballmer.
Good thing Austin Rivers got paid. Jerry West would be like, wait a second, wait, who? That dude from the Celtics? You want to do what now?
Y'all related?
How many years? Huh? Good for Austin Rivers.
I love Austin Rivers, and I love Seth Curry.
You call 98580-JALEN. Leave us a voicemail. We'll play it on the show just like this.
Hey, Jalen Jacoby. I was wondering, I know the prequels in Star Wars weren't as good as the original 3, but would Jalen be interested in watching if he knew that Samuel L. Jackson played Mace Windu? Just a thought. All right, get at me.
Great question. There's a Jedi circle in the prequels. Yoda, you know who Yoda is, right?
I heard of him.
Yoda's a little younger, spry. He's at his peak Jedi powers. And Mace Windu is one of the most prominent Jedi in the Jedi circles.
Mason Betha?
No, not Mason Betha. Good one, though.
I know him.
I cannot spell the word Hawaii without hearing Mace say W-H-A-W-A. Uncle Sam Jackson, plays one of the strongest, most influential Jedi in the circle. Uncle Sam, I don't know if you know this, is a black man. You love movies that feature black men and women. Would you reconsider and watch one of the early Jedi films now that you know that Uncle Sam is in it?
That would be the only reason.
And you'll only watch his scenes, right?
And they better not have him getting killed early.
You know what?
Like in a scary movie.
No, but what I wouldn't do to you is I wouldn't have you watch these first. This can't be your introduction to Star Wars series because they're really not that good.
He said it, Uncle, not me.
Let's listen. Oh, he knows. Let's listen to the next voicemail.
Hey there, Eric from Salt Lake City. I got 2 questions for you. First is, today is National Lobster Day, so what are you doing to celebrate that, Jalen? Second, soft move or boss move? Proposing at a sporting event. I feel like it's been overdone. Thanks, guys. Keep giving the people what they want.
National Lobster Day today, Jalen. Can you think of a way that you would like to celebrate this?
I wish I was in Miami and I could go to Prime 112. I would just eat lobster all day. But since I'm not, wherever I am, I will.
I'm sure you will. One thing I've learned, because we eat meals together a lot, you will order 3 lobster tails. Not cheap. Not cheap. Sometimes before lunch, Big Jalen, I got this one today. Don't worry about it. When that 4th lobster tail comes out, I'm like, what?
We used to be able to put our meetings on a corporate card.
Not anymore.
And then it was like $400. Jacoby looked at me like, Jalen, you got to pull out the black card,
you got
sir.
this one. You got this one, Jalen. No way am I expensing this. Trying to make up 4,000 people that were at lunch with us. No way. When we have a very sensible sandwich and a soda, I'll expense those ones. Let's listen to the next voicemail before we get fired.
What up, Jalen and Jacoby? It's Marvin from Perth, Australia. Shout out Reggie. Shout out Daniel. Jalen, just got done, finished reading your book. Suggest all the podcast listeners out there go out and get Jalen's book. Give the people what they want. It's a great read. Now, in the book, Jalen, there's a photo of you and Naz and you're mean mugging. So my question is, who has the best mean mug between Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor? Keep giving the people what they want. Keep getting them checks. Shout out.
Marvin's on the show more than anybody I know. If your name is not Jalen Jacoby, Marvin is on the show more than anybody else.
You're wrong.
Why am I wrong?
Reg is on the show.
He just pushes buttons. His voice has never appeared on the program. Marvin from Perth is holding us down.
Big Crown.
Big Crown, yeah, he supports the show.
Shout out.
I love Big Crown. Big Crown is the greatest mail carrier our country has.
So let me answer a couple of comments. Thank you for the love. Appreciate the shout about the book.
No doubt. Love our listeners down
I
under.
appreciate the fact that once they told me that I was a best-selling author, I haven't talked about the book since.
No, best-selling. You're an actor, an author.
I'm a thespian.
You are a lot of different things. You wear a lot of different hats to cover your waves.
I didn't even want the book in the studio. I look up, Carlos puts it in there.
There it is.
I take it down.
Yeah.
Harlan puts it in here.
Yeah, it's like you're not even proud of your own book.
Been there, done that. Got other things to do.
Do something new.
That's one. Two, the picture with Nas. Classic.
Mm-hmm.
For those old enough to know, the Century Club in L.A. used to be that deal. All of the notables used to be there. It was the spot where the line was so long it would be around the corner.
Where was the Century Club?
And you needed the velvet rope to get in. Beverly Hills?
Huh, really? How big was it?
It had a couple of floors, a couple of back area rooms, indoor, outdoor. It was a fly spot.
So you, your Century Club days, you were sort of at the peak of your NBA performance, right? It was right around the same time.
No, I just got into the league.
Oh, you just got into the league.
That was my second year in the league.
Were you? My question is what level of VIP were you at the Century Club? Because in LA, there's high levels of VIP.
I was high level VIP.
Really?
Yeah, you saw what I was doing.
You're hanging out with Nas.
Absolutely.
What were you doing before you were
in.
hanging out with Nas?
Don't get fired.
Okay.
So with that being said, that mean mug picture is classic. Lastly, who has the best mean mug between Floyd and Conor? Floyd doesn't want a mean mug. If you've ever paid attention to that.
He's Pretty Boy.
He's not trying to mean mug. The only time you'll see Floyd frown is when somebody offers him a fight and he's not getting $100 million.
Yep. Or one of his many sports bets goes wrong. Because he only posts the ones on Instagram that he wins, but something tells me he doesn't win them all. He's undefeated, though. He wins every boxing match he has. He's going to win this one, too.
Blue Moon is brewed with Valencia orange peel and a touch of coriander. It's a creative twist on a Belgian-style wheat ale for a taste that shines brighter. Taste responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
This Mayweather-McGregor thing is really going to happen. It's really going to happen.
It's really going down.
August 26th.
Am I surprised that they're going to fight?
No.
I remember headlines. Oh, what does this basketball player know about breaking some fight news? You could Google it right now. People tried to clown me.
They did.
I came on a microphone and said that Floyd was going to fight McGregor. He was looking at me like I had two heads.
You had the date wrong, but you were just giving the information you were given. They're going to fight now. Maybe.
The date, coincidentally, is in front of the Triple G Alvarez fight. Shots at De La Hoya as it relates to Dana White and Floyd. Because here's what it forces a couple of people to do. Somebody like me who wants to go to both fights, I'm like, do I want to pay to go to both fights now?
Yes.
And people that are probably listening to this program like, do I want to pay for both pay-per-views now?
Yes.
It now creates a decision, though.
It does. And I think that was somewhat intentional. This fight is being projected to make about $700 million in revenue.
Woo!
Darren Ravel said something like $689 million. And me and you saw that and started doing some math. Like, all right, usually, let's say it's $100, because we don't like to do too much math. That's 7 million people paying $100 a piece. That's not crazy. Many more people than that watch the NBA Finals, Game 5. 7 million people have to lay out $100 a piece to make this the biggest fight of all time in terms of purse. That is very possible.
It's going to happen.
When he fought Pacquiao, Mayweather, they brought in a record $623.5 million. Do you think that this fight, this quote-unquote fight between Conor McGregor
I like what
and
you did
Floyd Mayweather will make more than Pacquiao Mayweather?
Here's what I think. This fight is going to make more than any fight ever.
I think so too. I think we're looking at a $700-800 million fight. And that's why this is going to happen. There's money to be made by both of these characters.
I got a name for this fight. And big shout to my guy, Teddy Atlas.
Shout out.
Because I heard him say it on television. And I was thinking it, but he said it on wax first. So I'm going to give him the credit. Easy money.
Easy money. For everybody. Conor McGregor doesn't mind losing to Floyd Mayweather at boxing. He doesn't care.
Right.
Whatever.
Easy money.
What do I got to do?
For everybody involved.
What, I have to put on some different gloves,
Floyd,
train? Yeah.
McGregor.
Easy money fight.
The money team. Everybody.
Everybody wins.
Easy
except
money.
for the people that bet their money on Conor McGregor. Don't bet your money on Conor McGregor.
Easy money.
Don't do it. Also, don't bet on Floyd Mayweather. You bet $100, you get $11 back. These odds need to change to make people bet. And you know what I would do? Here's my non-professional gambling advice. Bet on the undercard for Mayweather's fighters to win. That's my non-professional gambling advice. If I'm going to a state where it is legal to bet on such things, I will bet on the undercard fights on Mayweather's fighters. And if it's Mayweather fighter versus Mayweather fighter, I'll bet on the one that I think looks like they're going to win. Or has a cooler name. That's basically what I'll do.
I like that advice. It sounds like you've done that before.
I've done that before.
Right.
People always focus on the main event. The main event, the one that has the odds.
You've done that
this,
before.
The odds of the main event are done really well. It's like, this doesn't, it's like, I could see that happening, but I wouldn't win that much. I could see that happening, but I would win a lot, but maybe not.
You put us on the couch for a second. That was personal.
Yeah. Yeah, it works. Undercards, and it also keeps you invested in the undercards. You know? It keeps you really invested in the entire evening. I stay away from the main event, especially when the odds are like they are now. It's like, what am I? If I bet $1,000, Jalen, I have to hand $1,000 to someone behind a glass, and they'll give me back a tiny little piece of paper. And guess what? If it goes the way I want it to go, I get $111.
That's not worth it.
$111 for $1,000 gamble?
That's not worth it.
$111?
Not gonna be able to do it. That's just not smart.
I have to work really hard to get $1,000.
That's not a calculated gamble.
It's not. For $111?
Nope.
At the same time, let's say I take that $1,000 and I put it on Conor McGregor. Here's what's going to happen. Conor McGregor is going to get beat up. He's going to lose the fight. And I'm going to take that $1,000. But, oh, you know what? This could turn into $6,000. If I got $6,000, I got rent money. This is going to be great. Think about the night I'll have with that fresh $6,000 of cash. That $6,000 is never going to end up in your hand.
No.
It's never going to end up in your hand.
It's not going to happen.
And then you're going to watch Conor McGregor get beat up and be like, oh my God, I can't believe I thought the guy that wasn't a boxer was going to beat one of the best boxers the sport has ever seen. Here's another prediction about this fight. Remember where you heard this first. It's going to get ugly, not in the ring. It's going to get ugly in the press conferences. Conor McGregor is great at promoting a fight because he goes there, he insults, he's disrespectful to his opponent. Extremely disrespectful. He's already started with Mayweather. And anyone who pays attention to the boxing game, the fight game, and especially Mayweather and the way he gets covered, there are things that you can say. There are instances that you can bring up that do not make Floyd Mayweather seem like a good person. Conor McGregor is going to do that early and often, and the war of words is going to go to an ugly place very quickly, and that is going to be a cloud of negativity that will surround this spectacle before it happens.
It is. And it's the tricky thing about being a public figure and being extremely talented, because sometimes people can't separate the two. And for Floyd, who does have a checkered history in certain aspects, as does Conor, as does all of us, if you want to take it there, there are things you can highlight about somebody that doesn't paint them in a positive light. I do think those are going to be things that are not only discussed, but are highlighted, that are jabs, that are personal, that will be said, that's going to anger each fighter. That's going to take place.
But here's the problem. No matter how angry Conor McGregor is, he's not going to be able to hit Floyd. No matter how angry Floyd is, he's not going to be able to get hit by Conor McGregor.
I'm glad you went there. Here's what's going to happen. You said Conor's going to do what again?
He's going to bring up all of the disparaging things he could possibly bring up about Floyd Mayweather. And there are lots. And they are ugly.
And this is what I like about boxing versus basketball. Okay. You say a lot of things about me that I don't like. Who do you think's going to win this fight?
Floyd.
Okay. So you're not only talking about me to upset me, but I'm going to get a chance to stand toe-to-toe with you and throw shots at your head.
And punch you in the face.
I'll take it. Say whatever you guys say in a press conference. Let me give my $100 million.
Oh, Floyd's getting way more than $100 million.
I'm just saying that's just a walk in the ring.
Yeah, that's just
He'll
to
get
wake up in
another
the morning.
$100 million off the pay-per-views. I'm not on Instagram.
Nope.
But you are.
Yes.
And I have a lot of people that I know that are also on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So I get a barrage of texts and people that are hitting me up yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Some were happy that I was playing basketball at all.
You played well. You look great.
Some were upset that I call myself trying to dunk.
That was a dunk.
So what I need to do, the next time we go to the gym, I'm going to power slam one.
It's not like you can't.
I'm going to do one with the left and one with the right.
Let's not get crazy. Just do one with the left. Just do one with the left. Okay.
It's easier with the right.
Okay, let's do one with the right then.
They were mad at the cameraman. They said we couldn't really see the top of the hoop.
There's only one take. You know what I mean?
That was on wax.
There's only one take.
And by the way, I have everything to lose at that point.
And that was after 3 games, too.
We ran 3 games. I was tired. I was happy that we were still running. I put myself in a position to truly get clowned. Because if I would have got hung, I would have been a trending topic.
I don't know who picked those teams. I'll tell you that much.
You know what it made me think of? Here's what happened with the Golden State Warriors.
That's what it made you think of?
No. It just reminded me of what happened when KD joined the team.
Okay.
You know when you go play rec ball and you size everybody up, you get familiar with everybody's skill set, and usually the 2 best players pick teams.
Yes.
So that the run can be even all day.
Yes.
You get that first game in, and all of a sudden the best player that was a captain on one team loses, and the next game he finds a way to join the team that beat him. Because somebody got injured.
Yeah, or someone's out. Oh, we're missing one. We need one. Because that's what I always do. Whenever it's like, oh, we lose a guy, I pick somebody. I don't go with whoever's next. I pick with who I want to join the team.
You're a good GM.
Yeah. I'm a great pickup GM, by the way. I know the right players to play on my teams.
I like when you tell other people that they're not a GM. You're quick to do that.
Yeah. I'm a good GM.
I heard you say that multiple times.
I'm a good GM. I'm a good GM. Ezekiel Elliott, he was photoed at the medicinal shop in Seattle. He was videoed exposing a young lady on top of a parade.
Ezekiel, the Bible bread.
He ran the ball really well. He had some mishaps off the field, I think it's safe to say. Here's what he had to say about what he has learned. Quote, "Just trying to learn to stay out of the way. Whatever you do is going to be seen. I think it's just life," he said, wearing a Stetson hat when he met with the media. "You learn from your mistakes, and if you don't, it can be brutal, so it's just part of life." Ezekiel Elliott's staying at home. Do you think that's good for him?
Yes, because I talk about how things have changed. There were a time where it wasn't illegal when you didn't have a seatbelt on. Mm-hmm. You could smoke a cigarette on an airplane. Mm-hmm. You could walk your dog and not have to pick up after it. Those times have changed. And the athlete wanting to be out and about, champagning and campaigning, then getting impaired and feeling like the rest of the world isn't going to see it or know about it, those days are over.
It's over. You were just talking about the Century Club back in the day. I can imagine that some of the things that you saw in that club during that period would not occur now because everyone knows that they would be put on Snapchat or put on Instagram and someone would have a phone pointed at them and it'd be recorded. Can you think of anything that you saw back then that perhaps you wouldn't see in today's nightclub experience?
I don't recall.
You don't remember any of those?
I don't recall.
You can't think of anything?
What's the statute of limitations?
Statute of limitations is a rock statue of the word limitations.
What's statute?
The statute of limitations is something that I just learned existed. I just learned this myself 2 years ago, so I'm not going to try to clown you about it. I always thought it was statute of limitations, didn't you? I always thought it. They shouldn't make a word that sounds so much like statue if they want us to use it. I'm putting that on the English language.
I'll tell you in another 10 years.
Okay.
Second book.
You're not writing another book. There's no chance. There's no chance you're writing another book.
Man, it was 30 hours worth of audio. I'm like, I really got to do it. Can we get somebody to come voice over this for me?
Can someone else do this?
They're like, well, it's not your audio book if it's not your voice. I'm like, okay.
I remember when you said, I was like, wait a second. So you can barely sit in this studio and do this show for 2 hours. And they're like, wait, he must do 8-hour days of just reading?
I did approximately 10 sessions, 3 hours each.
Oh, see, they knew you have a 3-hour limitation. Once after 3 hours, we're never doing a 4-hour radio show. Actually, we would if the money's right. Let's be honest.
We've already sold out.
Yeah, we'll sell out all the way. Yep. Ezekiel Elliott staying at home. Here's my problem: is you kind of got to be who you are. You got to be who you are, Ezekiel. Don't stay home.
Bring
be
the
who
fun
you
to
are.
you.
Don't know. Be who you are. Just don't do those things that got you in trouble. You can still go out.
You can do all of the things that got you in trouble. Just do them in your house.
No, you can't. Everyone's got a camera phone. Everyone's got a camera phone, Jalen.
I view things different when somebody's filming you at your place versus filming you in public. Because to me, what they're filming at your place is off wax. What you do in public is for public consumption.
You know what really bothers me? Not a lot bothers me. I love drama. I love gossip websites. I love reality TV. I love all that stuff. It really bothers me when someone takes a picture of a sleeping celebrity in bed. Like, look who I slept with picture. And this is not gender specific, male and female. The look who I slept with picture is just, I'm all for violating people's privacy and rights. I'm for that. But that one just seems a little too far to me. A little too far. I don't like that. We have a pretty simple game that we play on this show. It is called Keep It Moving. I'll tell you a topic that's being discussed in the sports world. If you want to discuss it, we'll hit the brakes. If you don't, we keep it moving.
Matt.
The NCAA suspends Louisville head coach Rick Pitino for 5 games and gives the school 4 years of probation. Keep it moving or hit the brakes?
Hit the brakes.
Okay.
What were they charged with doing?
You know I don't like follow-up questions, but this is related to the incidents in which a staffer on the basketball team or a former player who used to be a staffer had some exotic dancers at the player's dorm.
Prostitution.
I don't think that word has been used.
Well, when you're paying to play, that's normally what that's called.
Prostitution's illegal. This is not against the law.
Oh, okay. So what was the punishment again? 5 years?
5 games.
5 games.
For Rick Pitino.
Mm-hmm.
4 years of probation.
Just think about this. The Fab Five banners are still down.
Mm-hmm.
Did he go take his banners down?
It is fair game to discuss whether this will affect Louisville national title, but Louisville has 45 days to submit the games impacted to the NCAA, so we may not have the answer to that question for a few months.
I really like Rick Pitino. It's unfortunate that the school and the basketball program got tangled up into this web, but 5 games and 4 years probation, that's a slap on the wrist. How about this? Has Carolina got punished for their 20-year academic scandal yet?
I think they're still under investigation.
They have a ring going.
When you got 20 years of investigate, the 20-year period to investigate, it takes a long time.
And coincidentally, both of these teams recently won a championship. So I guess, hey, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
The Knicks have another option for Carmelo Anthony if Phil Jackson can't pull off a trade.
It's obvious you got to buy him out.
I'm going to hit the brakes on this one.
I've been there. I've been bought out by the Knicks before.
He has $54 million left on his 5-year contract.
Oh, we can't buy you out.
If Jackson were to cut Anthony between July 1st and August 31st, under the provision, the $54 million would be spread evenly onto the cap across 5 years. So it would be approximately $11 million hit to the cap for 5 years. They could say, we don't want Carmelo Anthony on the team so bad that we will pay $11 million a year in dead money against the cap to not have him on this team.
I'm not sure if him being picked up by another team means they have to absorb some of that money.
Either am I.
Being released, however, would be one of the happiest days of his life if he could keep all of his money and still go to another team that he's going to pick. The problem is when you give him a no-trade clause, you give him the power.
Mm-hmm.
And since he's not Dirk or LeBron, again, genius move by James Dolan. I've been saying this for years. He saw that people were picketing his ownership. He hired Phil. He got how many rings?
Do you know what he said
He's
now?
like, who's out here with the most rings?
No, he literally
They're
said
like
this.
Bill Russell. They're like, no, I can't hire him. Who else? Oh, Phil.
You got Bill Russell. Why not? Bill Russell will do it. This is the thing. I didn't even want to talk about this on the show. He was asked by reporters about the Knicks, and he said, ask Phil. I'm focusing on my music. Can you believe that? I'm focusing on my music?
Again.
Doug, I've heard this music. You're clearly not focusing on it.
Jacoby, they're trying to pick it to get me out as owner. He looked around and said, who's alive with the most championship rings? And they were like, Bill Russell and Phil Jackson. Bill Russell wasn't available for an interview.
Yeah.
So he brought in Phil, hired him right off the spot. Now all of the pressure is off of me. Like you just said.
That's why Jerry West left the Warriors. He didn't want to pass Phil in rings because then he would probably have to take Phil's job. That's why he left the Warriors. He's like, oh, wait, if I get another one, I got as many as Phil. Huh? That's not good. That's not good for business.
I wish Bill Russell would have got that $60 million.
Lonzo Ball to have a second workout with the Lakers on Friday. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
Keep it moving.
Browns top pick,
Keep
Myles
it moving.
Garrett. Okay. Derrick Rose wants to re-sign with the Knicks.
Keep it moving. Going to the highest bidder.
A surprising number of American adults think chocolate milk comes from brown cows.
Hit the brakes.
Thank you, Jalen. 7% of all American adults believe that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. According to a nationally representative online survey commissioned by the National Dairy Council. There are two explanations for this. One, 7% of the people just don't take the survey very seriously. Two, 7% of the people are really dumb.
Crazy, deranged.
What do you think it is?
I just wanted to hear you say that.
I think it's 7% of the people aren't taking the survey very seriously.
Like the NBA players with their voting?
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, oh, I got an online survey. How many times have you filled out an online survey in your life?
None.
I think I might have done it a couple times. One time I had a really nice flight attendant, so I wanted to make sure that they got their props.
Don't get divorced.
It was a male flight attendant, and by really nice, I mean they brought me extra glasses of wine. Okay,
That's all I mean. What did that mean that it was a man?
Nothing. Next. A minor league team is running a You Might Be the Father's Day promotion. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes.
In honor of You Might Be the Father's Day, the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, yes, that's a real thing, AA affiliate of the Marlins, will be handing out free pregnancy tests to celebrate You Might Be the Father Day. What? Free pregnancy tests.
I don't think at a baseball game is the right place to find out who's the parent.
It's not an existing child to find out whether or not you are carrying a child. This is not Maury Povich style.
Okay.
This is you might be pregnant. You can find out if you're pregnant here at the Jumbo Shrimp game.
I still don't want to find that out at a baseball game.
I don't want to find out at a baseball game either.
Nope. And it doesn't sound like... Is that a couples thing?
I think so. The Michigan football team's trip to Rome cost over $750,000.
I'm so glad this is on wax. Because I remember... Hit the brakes.
Okay. I'm so glad you remember this segment.
I remember a time where people felt like it was taboo when the topic of possibly sharing the revenue with players, in particular in basketball and football. So I'm glad that money's getting thrown around like this to show they got money to blow.
I read into this article. I don't usually do that. This was all given by one single private donor. Was it you or Tom Brady? Did Tom Brady do this?
Possibly.
Did Tom Brady do this? Was it you?
It wasn't me.
That might be going to the Jalen Rose Leadership Academy.
Here's the thing. If I got $1 million that I wanted to give as it relates to charity, the lion's share of it going to the Jalen Rose Leadership Academy. I would think a school that was built in the 1800s would be just fine without my money.
Yeah, I think they'll be all right. We've got some Reddit questions.
I like Reddit.
If you go to reddit.com/r/Jalen and Jacoby, you can join our subreddit. Subscribe to the subreddit. Be active in our subreddit. We've got some questions from Reddit. We'll start with those. first thing we have is this. We talked about the Obi-Wan Jacoby a lot recently. It's catching
Too
fire.
much.
It's catching fire.
It seems like he's going to have to drop an album soon.
Well, we've got an album cover. This was presented by Del Rich. It is an album cover. It's got David Jacoby as a Jedi in a desert environment holding a lightsaber.
You look dope.
With a minivan in the background.
It looks dope.
That's the first positive thing Jalen has ever said about Obi-Wan Jacoby.
I have to, but here's one.
Yesterday on the show, someone recorded a track about Obi-Wan Jacoby. But Obi-Wan Jacoby's blowing up.
Here's the thing.
It's blowing up.
But no, well, hold on. Hit the brakes.
No.
This is like Lonzo Ball's shoe. It's like we're hearing a lot about this Obi-Wan Jacoby, but we haven't heard any bars.
I'll look into it. I'll reach out. I'll reach out to the Chaos Click members and see if we can find some bars.
All right, can we get some bars?
Shout out.
And
you can come with some new ones.
Well, there's also the shoe that we mentioned, the Obi-Wan Jacoby. Naturally, I thought it would be an Air Force One custom.
That's very
Get that
nice.
Force. But now someone developed an Obi-Wan Jacoby sneaker.
Built like a minivan.
Shift Refresh did that. There's a minivan theme to that.
I like that. That's dope.
So let's get to some of the real questions. First question from Rusty. He asks, what does Jacoby think of the new season or lack thereof of Bachelor in Paradise?
Oh.
I'll take this one, Jalen. There's some very serious allegations about an incident that happened in Bachelor in Paradise. So serious that I can't even make jokes about them. I don't want to. I'm upset that Bachelor in Paradise is jeopardized. That was a staple of my summer. However, I'm not surprised that this particular show has found themselves in this particular position. It's kind of like when someone has a wild animal as a pet, and they're like, I can't believe that wild animal as a pet has torn up my couch and is a disaster. It's like, well, it's a wild animal. That's kind of what happened on Bachelor in Paradise. Jen doesn't care anymore. Let's move on. This is from DJ Moneycut, the same person that recorded the Jalen and Jacoby track. Shout out to DJ Moneycut. He said, it seems like there's a universal agreement that McGregor has no chance against Floyd. Given that Father Time is undefeated and reflexes deteriorate with age, does Floyd, being 40, give Conor any chance?
No.
No. Okay. Let me ask you a different question then. Under what circumstances does Floyd Mayweather lose this boxing match?
Catastrophic injury.
In the fight. Mid-fight injury.
During the fight.
I can see that happening.
No, you can't.
I could see it happening.
No, you can't.
It's a possibility. I just asked you if it was a possibility. Now you're telling me it's not a possibility. Is that what's happening, Jalen?
Correct.
Huh. What about this? Early in the fight, Conor McGregor lands a couple of punches.
All that's going to do is make Floyd mad.
I did that just to see what you would say. Even if everyone's like, oh, he's got a strong left hand. Even if he lands a couple of punches, he's not going to win the fight.
I'm going to get everybody ready for a visual that's going to be shocking. Here's a visual I want everybody to pay attention to. When you see Conor McGregor with those 10-ounce boxing gloves on, it's going to look like a stick with a sucker on the end. They're going to look so big. They're going to look like balloons on the end of his arms. It's going to almost look like it's a caricature. Like, how's he holding those things up? That's how it's going to look. It's going to look, that visual is going to be laughable to me. I respect MMA so much that I would never get in. I don't want to get hit in any way, shape, or form. Same with boxing. But they're two different arts.
They're different sports.
Like, literally,
this is one of those things where it's like, oh, Usain Bolt would be a great receiver in the NFL. It's like, yes, Usain Bolt is fast. Do you know what he can't do? Catch. You know what else he can't do? Get tackled. You know what else he can't do? Tackle somebody on an interception. It's not, the skills aren't as transferable as people think. Remember, every Olympics, LeBron James would dominate all these different Olympic sports.
Not the LeBron that ran into a referee in the NBA game and fell like a folding chair.
Yeah, like, it's just different. LeBron James would not be a good tight end. He's not Rob Gronkowski. He's a great basketball player because he spent his entire life playing basketball, becoming a great basketball player. Conor McGregor spent his entire life becoming a great MMA fighter. It's a very different thing than becoming a great boxer, which Floyd Mayweather just so happened to have spent his entire life becoming a great boxer. The only way I can see this fight losing is if Floyd Mayweather is financially incentivized to lose the fight.
Not at 49
but
and
not
0.
at 49 and 0. That's the only thing that gets. If he was 42-7, I would say, you never really know.
See, here's the thing people underestimate about Floyd. One of the most disciplined fighters you will ever see. If somebody gave me 49 math problems and I knew the answer to each of them, I would still get one wrong.
Why's that?
It's just that way. That's just how it is. Like, for him to show up each time and find a way to never have slippage, it is virtually impossible what he's accomplished. And it's not going to change against Conor McGregor.
Appreciate the questions on Reddit. Keep that subreddit active. Reddit.com/r/Jalen Jacoby. Next, we're going to open up our Twitter feed. Take some questions from there. The Cerebral Assassin wants to know, how many kids do you need to purchase a minivan? That answer's simple. You got to have the third. With 2 kids, you can fill the back seat. When you have a 3rd kid, you can't fill the back seat. Too many kids. Minivan. I would do it with 2 kids, but I'm particularly enjoy the minivan experience.
You're asking the right person. You're an expert.
Another great question from John Dre 3000. Shout to him. What number will LeBron wear on his next team? I've got the answer, number 32.
32 and 33 are retired for the Lakers.
What about 35,
number
which is his finals record?
I see where you went there. That's KD's number, too.
36. Could be his finals record.
That's KD's number. Oh, you're saying after this year?
Yeah.
How about 23? That's not retired for the Lakers.
I'm tired of
him wearing 23.
Baylor? I don't think so. I'm going to say no.
No, Elgin Baylor wore 23.
Next, on our Twitter feed, this is one that's changed as I've gotten older. This is a great question.
Okay.
It's from Goran.
Dragic?
No, Zubac. I say his name wrong all the time. He tweets at me. I'm sorry, Goran. I love you. Soft move or boss move? Rolling down your windows and playing loud music feels braggadocious to me.
Boss move.
Is it, though?
I've done it multiple times back in the day.
I wouldn't do it now. That's the thing. Yeah. But this has changed over time. Here's where I draw the line here. And I'm glad this question was brought up because I haven't really fully processed this, and now I have. You should be playing music for your own enjoyment. If you are playing music so loud that you would enjoy it more if you turned it down, then it's a soft move because then you're doing it for other people. If you truly do enjoy your music to be that loud, then it's a boss move. Make yourself happy, but don't play your music in your car for other people to listen to. So if you love your music loud, your music should be played at the level that makes you the happiest, not at the level that makes you the most noticeable while you drive down the street.
That's why you get a drop top.
Hold on 1 second. We have statue news, Jalen Rose.
I love that.
We'll end the show with Jalen, the senior statue analyst, not just the ESPN, but of mankind. Pete Rose is going to receive a statue in Cincinnati. Do you co-sign this statue?
Absolutely. Charlie Hustle may not be in the Baseball Hall of Fame, but the hit king, and I know a lot of people are going to talk to me about Ichiro. I'm talking about only hits in Major League Baseball.
Mm-hmm.
While betting on the sport and being ostracized in so many ways to his own doing, I think at some point there needs to be a point of healing. And hopefully this is the lead domino to get him back into the good graces of the fans, of the media, and of baseball. Because it's hard to look back at eras of sport and there's so many people that aren't as accomplished in the Hall of Fame, but you don't see Roger Clemens or Barry Bonds or Pete Rose. I think you acknowledge their accomplishments, but it's okay to acknowledge their missteps as well.
And are we going to act like everybody in the Baseball Hall of Fame is a squeaky clean reputation? Is that really what we're doing here? Because there are many people in the Baseball Hall of Fame that have done many terrible things.
No.
Terrible things. And they're in, and all of a sudden Pete Rose is like, what'd I do? I bet on my own team to win? Sorry.
And Ty Cobb wasn't exactly excited about playing
he's
with
not
and
Mr.
against
Rogers.
the brothers.
Yeah, exactly. Ty Cobb is not Mr. Rogers out there. Thank you so much for listening to the Jalen and Jacoby podcast. Don't forget, go to iTunes.
Thank you.
Leave us a review. 5-star, 5-star, 5-star.
Thank you.
And tell a friend to get on the Jalen and Jacoby podcast subscription bandwagon.
Shout out.
Get off the bandwagon.
You're far too kind.